Hi friends, welcome. I'm about to go cook something for the dinner. I like doing the meal prep, however, sometimes it's just not feasible, especially if you have other things in life going on, family, friends, hobbies, work, whatever it is. So therefore, I'm coming up with some recipe selections that can be put together under 30 minutes. So if you're in a similar situation as I am, maybe you'll find some inspiration here. Christmas time is approaching, New Year's is just around the corner. I'm about to give away one of my most favorite cookbooks, which is the How Not to Die cookbook. It's amazing. It has helped me make the transition so much easier than the first time I went plant-based. The first time sucked. This second one was so smooth. And I'm going to explain everything closer to the end of the video. I only have bell pepper and a couple of other ingredients, and we are going to turn them into dinner. And you can just clean it up. We can slice them into strips, skin down. It's going to be easier to cut. I had prepared an oven at around 170 degrees with my silicone mat, and I'm going to place the bell peppers onto the tray. I'm thinking, do I want garlic in that dish? It's some refined olive oil. I'm going to place it in the middle. Don't want them to burn while I'm taking the shower. And I'm going to be keeping the vine. That's going to be an important part of the flavor component. And before I use the tomatoes, I will separate them from the vine. And I'm going to wash the tomatoes. I'm going to wash the ones without the broken skin inside the baking soda solution. It's a little bit soapy. That's what baking soda does. I'm just going to place the tomatoes in for about 10 minutes, and you will see the color of the water actually changes, not because of the juice of tomatoes, but because of the stuff that's coming off their skin. Now you see that the water has changed the color slightly. We need to rinse it thoroughly because sodium is not only in salt, it's also in sodium bicarbonate or soda, baking soda. Let's go wash it. Looks really pretty already. So now let's rock. I'm going to use 100 grams of carnaroli rice or orzo rice. You can also use that. That's about 100 grams or half a cup. 150 grams of rice. Bay leaf. Looks so pretty, man. 7 in total cherry tomatoes. Salt. Black pepper. It looks so good, and we haven't even finished yet. Around 350 milliliters of broth. 20 minutes in the oven. The rice cooks in about 15 to 18. So it has taken me around 25 minutes or on 210 in my oven. And it looks amazing. It looks so pretty. Am I excited? Of course I am excited. Are you kidding me? It looks so good. By the way, what do you think about YouTubers hyping up their food in the videos? But this is so good. I don't see many ways that you can mess it up, to be honest. I already tried it for salt and it was perfect. The secret is choosing the starchy rice, so the rice is creamy and it's not losing. It has a crust at the top, but inside it's really creamy and nice and soft. And also having the roasted bell peppers helps a lot because they develop their flavor and they caramelize when they're outside of the water. If the bell peppers were not caramelized beforehand, they would not have that strong of a taste, because caramelization develops After the boiling temperature of the water has been reached and this has been soaked, there you have it, a very easy rice. Here is the nutritional value, if you're interested. I wanted to serve this rice with some sauteed or grilled oyster mushrooms, but I ran out of those. But I think it's going to be perfect with just a simple grill or with something like the oyster mushroom shawarma recipe. I think it's beautiful. Kinda one pot pasta. We are going to start with the bell pepper, just like the previous dish. This part is going to be purely experimental and we are going to make the bean balls. Let's rinse this. Our rinsed beans, that's 1 can of cannellini beans. It feels so nice to mash them. Yeah, you do need to mash them, but you don't necessarily need to use your hands. You may already know, but there are a couple of things to remember about canned foods in general, especially if you choose something like beans. There are just a little bit more points. So one thing is, of course, for any kind of a can, try to choose the BPA-free packaging. You're going to be better off health-wise, probably, but if you're concerned, do check the labeling on the package. Second thing is never choose a can that is dented, especially at the area where the lid is coming closer to the walls of the can. This way you will avoid bacterial poisoning and overall the integrity of the can will be maintained. If that's something like legumes, you would like to wash them or rinse them quite thoroughly before you use them in a dish. This way you will rinse out some extra sodium or the metallic taste. You can use a fork or a potato masher or a spoon as well. Let's add a little bit of flavor and texture to those bean balls. And I'm going to slice and dice a little bit of kalamata olives. Somehow they always have more flavor when you get them with the pit and then just remove the pit as you cook. Meanwhile, I'm preheating the oven at 210 degrees Celsius. Let's add some cumin, smoked paprika for the color, some garlic, tablespoon of nutritional yeast, around a tablespoon of tomato paste, and if you use salt, you cannot forget about salt. A touch of soy sauce. Approximately 210 Celsius, at least on my oven. Experiment with yours to know your temperature settings. I'm gonna check on them in about 10 minutes. Let's chop up a little bit more of kalamata olives for the pasta itself. 2 tablespoons tomato paste. We'll add a little bit of olive oil onto the pan, a couple of spritzes. Let's allow it to cook for around 2 to 3 minutes. They have developed a little bit of a crust, not too much. I think we can take them out. Tomato paste, so it also develops the flavor. Bell peppers, they usually take some time to cook through. And let's allow them to sit for about 3 minutes. Let's add all the liquids, tomato, kalamata olives, basil, about 1 tablespoon. And I found my favorite type of spice finally in the store. They've been gone for a while. It's liquid basil. I'm using it instead of the regular basil because it just remains fresher for so much longer. Mix. Italian herbs. 600 milliliters of water, and the thing that's hated the most, pasta. We need to mix it in and bring it to the boil. Of course, because this is a one-pot pasta, you're going to use less water than as per instructions. Meanwhile, it's boiling. I'm going to open the lid. Mixing is going to be important so it doesn't stick together. And of course, the pasta cooked in a one-pot style is not a traditional pasta, but still it's quite flavorful, it's very satisfying, and it can help you get through to the next day. If you want to make it a truly one-pot pasta, you can skip the mashing beans kind of step and just add the beans into the pasta. It will make it more of a minestrone, kind of a stew thing. But if you still would like to have a look at the minestrone, I'll just leave a card around here so you can have a look at that. Cannot wait to dig in. Let's start by toasting some sesame seeds, and we'll allow them to get cracking. They have quite a nutty taste and it happens pretty instantaneously. Use 2 nori sheets and a little bit of scallions for serving, and I'm going to chop the scallions and cut the nori sheets, or better say, tear them apart. The more colorful the fruit or the vegetable is, typically this is the indicator of their antioxidant capacity, of their vitamin content, mineral content, so on and so forth. So if you compare cabbage here, the purple cabbage is of course more packed with antioxidants than the white cabbage. And if you compare it with tofu, which is mainly the source of protein in this case, and this is to underline the importance of balanced meals. Let's drain this. Now, the producer calls this tofu extra firm, but I would definitely not call it extra firm. I saw firm tofu firmer than this. If you want to make it even firmer, you can press it, of course, but I'm going to just use it like this. And I'm going to cube it. Kinda. Miso paste is a fermented product which makes it good for the gut. Just 2 tablespoons of that. And I would never miss a chance to use some enoki mushrooms. Those look like worms. Those are not worms, those are mushrooms, and they're delicious. And a bit of shimeji mushrooms, which give a nice crunch and texture to the dish. That's what we got. They're quite fast to cook, of course, 3 to 5 minutes, as you could see in the package. They're very nutrient dense and calorie dilute, just like most of the mushrooms. Most of the mushrooms have about 20 to 30 calories per 100 grams, so you can consider those if you are trying to manage your weight and you're looking for calorie dilute options. And we are going to start with bringing broth to the boil. 1.4 liters. Now we are boiling. Let's add the first batch. 1 small yellow onion, wakame, 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame seeds, and grated ginger. I'm going to use liquid ginger, and we are going to need about 1 tablespoon. Smells like sea. Woo! Now let's cook it for about 3 minutes. Let's add the carrots and about 140 grams of red cabbage. 3 more minutes. Tofu also goes in at this point. It's been 3 minutes. Let's go in with the rest of the things, starting with miso. Now you need to make sure that it's evenly distributed in the soup. These are the rice noodles, which are really fast to cook. I hope I have enough space because I really love mushrooms. It looks pretty mushroomy by now. Now we have 5 more minutes to cook everything on medium-high heat. And we are going to be done. It will be time to serve. I am actually quite ready to have dinner at this point. You can use a fork. These bad boys. Scallions. Nori sheets. Cannot wait to dig in. I don't know, I think it's brilliant. What do you think? Do you have any favorite recipes of this sort? And this is also a perfect recipe for meal prep because you can keep all the ingredients separately shredded as I had, and it takes just 15 minutes to put everything together. So beautiful. Oh yeah. So let's get into the giveaway. What I'm going to be giving away is one of my favorite cookbooks, which is How Not to Die Cookbook. I'm going to get the book and send it to you. Let me show you mine. You can see that my cookbook is very much loved. It has a lot of bookmarks here, a lot of beautiful ideas and recipe ideas. And I kid you not, this thing is the sole reason why I was able to stick to a plant-based diet and my health actually went up, not down. This book played a huge part in that. If you want to get the book, I'm going to send it to you. Just subscribe to the channel, leave a comment to this video and tell us about your plant-based experience, something that you would like to share. I will be super happy to know a little bit about you, and then I will reach out to you. We can get in touch and you'll get your book. Of course, giveaways are one way to grow a channel, but more than that, I would like to share things that really helped me on my journey, and I hope they will help you too.